Welcome to week 2 in our 7-week Lunch and Learn meditation series here at Meditate Upstate. This week we are going to be talking about the 3 energy channels, and we're going to be getting into some meditation specific techniques that will be helping you to create balance within your 3 energy channels. We're also going to be learning about the Footsoaking Technique in our class today. So in order to talk about our 3 energy channels, let's just look back briefly what we discussed last week, our inner workings, what's happening within our subtle energy system that we're now activating within this process of meditation in the Sahaja technique. As you will recall from last week, our subtle energy system, when it's activated, it is going to be balancing, strengthening, and reestablishing this inherent balance and optimal well-being that's within us due to the reconfiguration or strengthening, harmonious improvement within 3 aspects that exist within us: our inner energy, our 3 energy channels, and our 7 energy centers. And all of these are incredibly important to get to know. As you're meditating, you will start to be in actual visceral touch with them. This is not just a philosophy, a discussion. This is something that actually happens. It's a real actual happening within you, that this inner energy, which is located in the triangular bone, the sacrum bone in the base of the spine, that when it gets activated, this kundalini energy, that it balances our entire energy system. In doing so, it rises up our central channel. It balances our 3 energy channels, left, right, and center. We'll talk about those. That's what we're talking about today. And in rising up that central energy channel, it is rising up, she is rising up through these 7 energy centers or chakras within us. They are wheels of energy, and they govern our overall well-being spiritually, mentally, physically, and emotionally. And as we go week by week, we will start to get familiar with these 7 energy centers and understand why, when we're meditating, this transformation is taking place. How does that correspond to these 7 energy centers? As you'll recall from last week, when our kundalini reaches the 7th energy center, the crown chakra at the very top of the head, at that fontanelle bone area, at the crown of the head, that happening is known as self-realization, when that which exists within us unites with that which exists all around us. And we start to feel that as energy or vibrations or sensations, both on our hands and on the top of the head. And I would encourage you to pay attention to what you start feeling as you start developing into this self-realization or this meditative state. So let's get right into learning about the 3 energy channels, how they get out of balance, what's actually observable when they're not in a balanced state, and what we can do to help balance that system within us. First of all, our left energy channel. And you will notice right away that when you look on your screen, this area that's lit up, that blue line, it looks like the right side of this image. In all of our chakra images or chakra charts, where you see our meditator with all of these aspects of the subtle system, we've got our 3 channels depicted, and we depict our left channel on our images left side. We want to be really authentic to that left channel. It's on the meditator's left side. So if you imagine this is you, this is your left channel, even though it's physically located on the right side of our view right now. So that's our left energy channel. It's also known as the moon channel. In Sanskrit, it's known as Ida Nadi, or the left river, or the left channel. It's also considered to be a river. Nadi is another word for river. This left channel is our feminine channel, or the yin to our yang. So it typically is recognized in that sense. Now, in being our left channel, that yin, that feminine channel, what exactly is happening? What are the qualities of that left channel? In a balanced state, when that channel is balanced, it has the potential, it establishes within us the reflection of that balanced state, translates to the establishment or the manifestation of the pure power of desire. So having that ability to have a desire to actually want something. So if that's not established within us, we don't crave, we don't want, we don't have that desire for anything, to become a bit apathetic or numb. So the strengthening of the left channel establishes within us the power of the desire, that actual seeking or desire for something, for hopefully our well-being. So it's our potential energy. That desire isn't actually an active energy. It doesn't actually manifest anything, but it's incredibly important to have the power of desire, that pure desire, that desire for our well-being, again, because without that potential energy will never manifest into our kinetic or active energy. So establishing our pure desire, that potential for change. It's also connected with our emotions and our sensitivity, our yin, our feminine side within us. And we all have both our left and our right channel within us. It's also connected with our intuition, and it has to do with our past focus. So again, strong intuition absolutely correlates with a strong, balanced left energy channel. Our past focus, now that can also be healthy or unhealthy. So these qualities can be strong or weak. We can ruminate on the past. We can deal with the past and process the past in a way that's helpful, that helps us to evolve and learn from what has happened. Or we can deal with the past, the focusing on the past, in a negative, sad, unproductive way, regretting, sulking, feeling guilty, attributing blame, focusing on the past in a way that doesn't actually produce any change for the present or the future. Sounds like a judgment call, but we can focus on the past is the point, and do so in a way that is healing, that repairs whatever negative things that have happened, or helps us learn from things to actually make a great change for ourselves, and maybe even for the greater good for the present and the future. So those are the qualities of the left energy channel. When our left energy channel is not in a great state, when it's weak, when it's not strengthened, when it doesn't have that energy really strongly established within us that creates that strong, solid left side, we'll see some of these qualities. And so this, on the kind of psychological level, physical level, we can see when our left channel is not in a great balanced state. So that lethargy, that apathy, that feeling of kind of hopelessness, nothing can really happen, nothing's going to come, kind of, passive and hopeless. So excessively past focused, unable to take our attention out of what has happened, out of the past, kind of living in the past, as we often refer to it, not in the future, or not in the present, not dealing with the past to help us fix the present and the future. Feeling insecure, doubting ourselves, exceedingly submissive. So the opposite of dominating others, being dominated, allowing others to tramp all over us and really push us down in a way that is not respectful of our self-worth. Emotionally imbalanced. So either excessively triggered emotionally, everything makes us cry, everything makes us feel upset, unable to be in control of our emotions, unable to kind of harness our emotions in a helpful, productive way for ourselves and others. And ultimately, when our left side is really out of balance, we feel completely depressed, absolutely hopeless, absolutely apathetic, like there's really no point. So it can go very sad and it can go very, very good. To balance our left energy channel, we're going to learn about the foot soaking technique before our foot soak water in order to stimulate that left channel, to kind of activate it, to take us out of that depressive state, that sad, lethargic, hopeless, inactive, desireless state. We want to heat it up. And so we make our water that we're using in our foot soak warmer or hotter, whatever's comfortable, whatever kind of is not too, we don't want pain. Something that's just nice and comfortable that gives us that warmth is going to actually help stimulate and create balance within our left energy channel. And we're also going to learn a channel balancing technique that we're going to use in our meditation today to balance our left energy channel. We keep our left palm open. So our left palm open, and we balance by placing our right hand, pointing it towards the floor. So if we're sitting on a chair, we can just let our hand kind of dangle down next to us, relaxed, pointing towards the floor. So basically we have our left palm open on our laps, fingertips apart, placed nice and comfortable on our lap, and our right hand dangling towards the floor. If we're sitting on the ground or close to the ground, we can actually place the right palm right on the ground, right next to us. So just place flat on the ground. Or if not, just having it dangle down is perfectly fine. So in both of these balancing techniques that you'll learn today, the channel that you're balancing is the hand that's open. So we're balancing our left channel, so our left palm is open on our lap. We're doing this while we're meditating, while we're in that state of thoughtless awareness. So we're hoping to have our attention above the top of the head, not thinking, not focusing on any thoughts or any images or any ideas that correspond to the past or the future. But we're focusing on the present moment, and we're really just allowing our inner energy to work. But in doing this very simple position change, we're expressing our desire that we want our left channel to get into a balanced state. So whatever impurities are affecting our left channel, all of that darkness that has crept in and is making us sluggish, that is slowing things down, making us emotional, regretting, guilty, apathetic, hopeless, depressed, feeling sorry for ourselves, letting others dominate us. We want all of that to just be released. We want all of that heaviness, all of that matter that's slowing us down to just be released from our system, and for the strength of our left side to get established. And so we just meditate for a few minutes with our left palm open. Very simple technique. We'll do that today in our meditation. So that's a little bit about the left side. Let's talk about the right. You can probably guess we're going to the absolute opposite extreme. So our left channel is our moon channel. Our right channel is our sun channel. In Sanskrit, it's known as our Pingala Nadi. It's the masculine channel. It's the yang to our yin. So we've got our yin on our left channel, but on our right side, we've got that yang, we've got that bang, we've got that excitement, we've got that action. So our left side is our desire, and our right side is our action. It's our kinetic energy. It's the actual doing. It's the actual happening that's taking place within us. So can you imagine what happens when we have a strong left and right channel? We've got a strong desire, strong potential energy, desire to do something great, desire to evolve, desire to have a better quality of life. And then when we've got that strength in our right energy channel, that ability to act, to actually manifest in that kinetic energy, that doing, actually pulling the trigger, actually doing what we want, what we desire, not just desiring and sitting in that perhaps maybe one day state, tomorrow, I'll do that tomorrow, but actually doing it right here, right now, actively affecting that change that we so desire, not in an overly kind of manic way, but in a very harmonious way, just affecting that action to that desire. So all of our doing, all of our executing. This is also, as you can imagine, our future focus. So if we've got the past on our left side, our right channel is all of that future. So all of the planning, all of the preparing, and that's what we're doing when we're focusing on the future. We're either planning for an inevitability that may or may not come, or preparing for something that may or may not come. We try to control so bad, using all of the tools that we have within us, all of the knowledge, all of the little ingredients and kind of pieces to the puzzle that lead us to think that we know what's going to happen, but we actually, spoiler alert, never actually know what's going to happen. So we do spend a lot of time in that future planning or preparing. And just like how we deal with the past, the way that we deal with the future can either be benevolent, it can be good for us, or it can be a little bit extreme and not healthy for us. So when we're dealing with the future in a way that's very manic, that's full of anxiety, that is too much controlling and unable to just kind of allow for life to happen, we create imbalances within ourselves. So dealing with the future, planning and preparing, which is of course important for us to manage our lives in a successful way, can be done in a way that doesn't make us imbalanced, doesn't get to an extreme. I hope that gets clarified as we look into our weaknesses. So when that right energy channel is not in a balanced state, when it's in a weak state, when that energy that strengthens our right energy channel is not established. As an opposite to our left side, when our left energy channel is weak, it's become sluggish. It slows down to the point of almost no activity at all. But when our right channel is out of whack, it's actually become overactive. So all of that activity has become manic. So we're not just acting, but we're acting on others. So we're aggressing, a lot of pointing, a lot of pushing, a lot of reacting. So aggression, reactiveness, complete reactivity to everything that's happening. Anything is just a simple, everything is a spark, everything is a trigger that can cause us to flare up. That also may lead to us being egocentric or dominating. So focusing on ourselves more than others kind of kills our compassion and our understanding, because that ego gets so inflated within us that we just think about getting what we want to get done for our well-being without recognizing the greater good or kind of the balance between ourselves and the other people that we deal with in our lives. This can manifest as being insensitive, blaming others. It can ultimately lead to a very kind of robotic or dry personality. Again, that compassion kind of dies, that sensitivity, that feeling of love and understanding, it dries up. And so it leads us to feel a bit dry. It's all restorable, no worries. It also can correlate to our attention being weak. So when that energy just gets overactive, it becomes challenging to focus at one thing at a time. And this is completely connected to our anxiety. We are in a society where there's so much going on at every single moment. Everything is buzzing, everything is beeping, something is calling our attention at every moment, from the left to the right, whether it's inside of our brains or in the world around us, something is stimulating our attention. And when our attention is strong, we can focus at one thing. No matter how many noises and beeps and buzzes are going on around us, how many people are tapping us on the shoulder, pulling us in all different directions, we can focus at one thing at a time. When our attention is weak, we're like birds. That's the way that I refer to it. Just, okay, what's next? Okay, what's next? Oh, 1 second, let me go to that. Oh, let me go to that. And so we're jumping and jumping and jumping and jumping, and our attention never settles down and never gets strong. And that absolutely leads to anxiety. However, we have techniques, we have tips to get our right energy channel into balance, kind of curb all of that manic, aggressive, overactive side by cooling it down. And so when we're doing our foot soak, which you'll learn at the end of class today, we're going to use cooler water to kind of bring everything back, to kind of reel it back and just calm ourselves down and cool ourselves down and cool down all that activity, all of that overactive energy that's manifesting. In balancing our right energy channel with our simple action, we're going to keep our right hand open, right palm open on our lap, fingertips apart. So we're focusing on our right energy channel. And the left arm is bent at the elbow. So our right palm is open, our left arm is bent at the elbow so that the left hand is kind of near our left ear. It has to do with the use of the elements. The air actually helps to pull out, the ether actually helps to pull out the heat or the impurities in our right energy channel. So that's why we're using the air or the ether element when we clean or balance or purify our right energy channel. It's incredibly effective. In our balancing of our left energy channel, when our left palm is open and our right hand is tapped towards the ground, we're using the earth element. And these are techniques that have been established through the Sahaja practice, and they are just absolutely effective, and they correspond to the imbalances and the problems that happen and help us to correct them. Let's look at our central channel. Very simple when we're talking about our central energy channel, because this is where we're headed. We don't want to live on the left. We don't want to live in that sad place, lying on a sofa, eating ice cream all day, feeling sorry for ourselves. And we absolutely don't want to live in the right channel, just angry, just grumpy, just upset at everything that's happening, easily triggered, dominating others, no joy, no happiness, no satisfaction. where we actually want to live is in our central channel, or our Sushumna Nadi. The central channel is the channel that in which our inner energy, our Kundalini, is rising up. She's rising up our central channel, creating that strength within us. This is the channel of our evolution, and we actually haven't lived in this place very much. We're living often in the future on the right, or in the past on the left. But how often are we actually living in the central channel, in the present moment? And when we do so, whether it's in our meditation or in our life, when we're 100% present in what's going on in our life, we're actually more able to deal with what's happening within us in a wholesome, efficient way. It becomes the channel of our evolution. As our inner energy is rising up, she's cleansing these energy centers and helping to reestablish all of the qualities that we may have lost over the years. This is what the Buddha described as the middle path. He described this middle path as the balance between the extremes, the evolution, the balance between extremes. So as our inner energy is rising up, she's rising up this middle path within us. It has the qualities of spirituality, of balance, of evolution, of integration. This is such an important one. It's a bit challenging to understand that our lives may not be integrated. We may have one person that's dealing in this aspect of our life, maybe at work, maybe with this, our friends, maybe with our family, in different places with different people. We may kind of be disconnected, different face, different ways of representing ourselves, different ways of thinking, different ways of behaving. But when our inner energy rises up our central channel, what she's doing is she's helping us to get in touch with our pure, eternal self, that self which is one. We know ourselves. We know when we're putting a different face on, when we're kind of faking it a little bit, or doing what's necessary to please others, or to survive in certain situations, or to make life easy in different situations. It's not all bad. But ultimately, what makes us an integrated person is when we're true to ourselves all of the time, when we're always ourselves, when we don't feel like we're being inauthentic. Now, hopefully that authentic person is a person that's nice, that's not dominating, because that can easily be justified as, well, I'm being true to myself, so I'm going to dominate the world because I want what I want for myself. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about being true to ourselves in that balanced state. So once we're establishing ourselves as a balanced, harmonious person that establishes these incredible qualities of compassion, of satisfaction, of love, and we become completely authentically ourselves, comfortable in that beautiful skin, then we can manifest that, and we feel completely integrated. We feel that we are being authentic to ourselves at every moment. So it's just one word, but this is really an interesting quality that manifests as our channel, our central energy channel, and our chakras as a whole start to get into balance. So let's get ready for our meditation. We're going to do our balancing technique. I may, as I do in all of our meditations, take advantage of these very simple affirmations or gestures that you see on your screen now. Just follow along. There's no need to memorize them. What's important is that whatever we're doing, even if we've just got our left hand open and our right hand towards the floor, this is not just a simple movement of our hands. If that's all that it was, then learning movements would change our lives. But we're talking about changing ourselves from within. So what we're doing, whether we're putting our hand in a certain place or not, what's really important is that action is a representation of our desire. So our left and our right side are both involved. Our action, maybe moving our hand, placing our right hand on the heart, as you see in the picture on the right side of your screen. Very simple. I am the spirit. Even if our hand is not there, what's really important is that our desire is part of this affirmation, part of this gesture, that these words, this feeling, and even this movement, if we're comfortable just doing these very simple movements, is an expression, an integrated expression of our desire. All right, so very simple affirmations and gestures. I'll I will, as always, just do different ones in our meditation that seem relevant at the time. They're always very spontaneous and kind of relative and responding to what's happening right here, right now. So let's get ready to meditate.